I got a brand new truck just in time for fucking $10 a gallon gas. I'm winning. Yes. Well, stock market's dropping like a stone again today, but I caught it in time. I saw the writing on the wall, so I sold a lot of my stock positions and put it into gold and gold mining for now, waiting for the bottom. You know, I mean, it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop going down. And on top of that, freight has dramatically slowed down. I ended up sitting Sunday, did a 34-hour reset just because I was sitting. I might as well fucking make it count for something. And now I'm getting these shitty little Northeast regional loads, you know, 300 miles here, 400 miles there kind of loads. Going up to Maine, though, so maybe that'll be better. But they gave me a 30-mile load to start off my day, and it's a live unload, so I'm not making a ton of money. They gave me like 50 extra bucks for it. So, yeah. It's fun. The life of a trucker. But they gave me a brand new truck. Like, it had 55 fucking miles on it, you know? And so I'm going to show you around. It's a new 2023 Freightliner Cascadia. So I'll give you my thoughts on things that have improved and things that took a step down from the Kenworth, the old piece of shit Kenworth that I was in. First thing that took a step down is the idle computer is set at 80 degrees again. And it has that opt idle that I was all excited for. Well, that was bullshit because there's an extra package you're supposed to get for that has extra batteries and an HVAC unit for the bunk. Unfortunately, the cheap asses didn't fucking put that in here. It has opt idle, but the opt idle shuts off and doesn't start. It almost killed the batteries of the truck one night trying it out. When it's below 80 degrees outside. So, yeah. Now, there are easier ways to get around that. I'm not going to go into details on that, but let's just say I know how to idle this fucking thing when I need to. It does have a timer, you know, in the other truck when I wanted to just, you know, when I didn't want to do those other methods. It has a timer built into it, so it'll beep 30 seconds before it's going to shut off, and you just get up and push a button. You don't even have to hit the gas or none of that shit, and it keeps idling. So I've done that a few times to keep the batteries charged, and at night, you know, I just do a hypercool and run it for 10-15 minutes, charge the batteries, and then I'm usually pretty good. And if it's around 75 degrees, this thing does have an upgrade that came. It has this fan built into the vent, which is nice. It keeps it fairly cool at 75 degrees in the back if it's at night. If it's during the day and the sun is shining through the front window, even with reflective shades put in, that it's like the greenhouse effect overwhelms that little ass fan easily. It's overcast today, so I'm kind of doing okay with just that fan. I turned it off so I could make this video so you didn't have to listen to the annoying noise. But other amenities that came with this that have dramatically changed my eating habits. It came with a fridge with a little itty bitty freezer in it. So let me show you that. So here's my new fridge with a freezer. It's got heavy cream. I've got some cold cuts, and yes, I have mac salad because I'm not keto. I got a steak in the freezer. that, and over here I'm thawing out my hamburger for tonight. I'm gonna make my signature like ground beef with pizza sauce. So a little bit more space to walk around in here too. Like these seats slide pretty far forward at night. I bought this fold out ottoman from Walmart so that I can sit back here and, you know, I put my little pillow and all that other shit here, and I set up a folding table, and I put my big monitor, which is usually kept here during the day. When I'm driving, I just pull over I'm at a customer and I'm not wanting to set it up just yet. And of course I got these little $100 monitor speakers off Amazon and I got rid of that big Party Box 500. So I just bought these to stay in the truck, and they're good enough to do my music on. They don't have like the pounding bass. I have headphones if I want to try and, you know, mix that, but for the most part all the high end and a lot of the bass is there for me to get a good mix out of for my music. It has an inverter right between my legs. It has an inverter, and it's actually, and the batteries are actually pretty good in here. I don't have to charge it quite as often as I did when I was in the Kenworth. So there's that. So another thing that's a big upgrade. Well, first of all, this is a lot higher in this truck than it is in the Kenworth. So, you know, way more headroom when I'm sitting in my bunk down below. And because of that, there's no like not too many places where I can get into the top of my freezer. Yes, I said freezer. To get in all of that. So it has a fucking ladder. Like literally a fucking ladder. So let's go upstairs in my crib and shit. Alright. So I bought this $50 microwave. So that has increased my meal options from the usual truck stop fare to the lovely fucking horrible processed foods that you buy in frozen food section at the supermarket. But hey, it's cheaper than eating out all the time. I've got my Jackery, which is running. This is now, used to be just my fridge. It can be a freezer or a fridge. I have made it into a freezer. And it is at a nice cool 9 degrees. And of course I've got my Carb Smart. I've got my Carb Smart ice creams. I've got some pasta dishes. I've got some Hot Pockets. I've got those Jimmy Dean fucking breakfast sandwiches. All microwavable foods pretty much. And occasionally like a steak and shit. And while we're up here, you can see this massive lighting system. It looks like fucking Star Trek and shit. It's pretty cool because it makes it really bright in here. That was one of the problems I was running into in the Kenworth, is I had to use my own lighting to get decent light at night in here, because I got all the curtains in and all of that usually. And this definitely is fancy, and it makes me feel all space age and wealthy and shit. So, of course, I've got my Walmart dresser. I keep just enough clothes to keep this full. I've got my sink and shit for drying my dishes and stuff. Bathrobe for, you know, when it's cold out. And I don't want my balls hanging out for all to see, so I wear the bathrobe. Under that, I got some hoodies and coats and shit for if it ever gets cold. You know, a little bit of storage up top and shit. So the cabinetry. Oh, hold on. Oh. All right. Hey. So the cabinetry is an upgrade from here. So living space, I got to give it a thumbs up over the Kenworth. 2018 Kenworth. I don't know what the brand new Kenworths are doing. They're probably way better in some respects. It doesn't have any of the wall outlets hooked to the inverter that the Kenworth had. That should be noted. I missed those. That's why you see this janky wires and shit. Just because I have to run everything from there. I'm going to come up with a better solution. I also don't like this table being dipped. Yeah, it's nice that shit won't slide off of it, but I can't really set my monitor there easily. You know, I have to pull out the folding table to use my 4K monitor. I would really like to be able to stuff it in there, you know, but for now I've got my speaker Velcroed there, so we'll see. Of course, I got my Xbox, which I haven't fired up in a little while because a new game came out on Steam that I've been playing. It's a V Rising, and I got sucked into that. It's a like survival role-playing game. Kills a lot of time, which is nice out here in prison, the box. But my box is brand new and nice and shit. That's what she said. So, as you can see, I've got my unhealthy fucking shit here. I got a lot of granola. I love granola. It's a great treat. I have foregone the Pop-Tarts. I stopped doing the Pop-Tarts because I got my Carb Smart ice cream, which this will lower my sugar intake significantly, but not by much. Actually, no, the Pop-Tarts are pretty hardcore. So I do have microwave popcorn because it's a guilty pleasure. And I'm going to be doing that instead of potato chips and stuff like that. And pork rinds. I'm sick of pork rinds, to be honest with you. So there's that. Yes, I have ramen. No, I don't eat it all the time. It's there for when I can't get anything good, particularly meat or whatever, and I just happen to be hungry or something. So yeah, I keep all my, you know, toilet paper and fucking paper towels and shit there. So yeah, that's good. I still got my 4 bins that are reminiscent of my Prius travel. I still, of course, got my piss jug in my shitter. So there's that, you know, it's all good. I should probably secure the piss jug so if I get in an accident, I don't get hit in the head with a bottle of piss, because that would suck. The dashboard is, as you can see, I'm having a hard time mounting my phone in and out of, because I don't like putting it on the windshield area. I see some drivers doing that. I like it below the dash, so it's not interfering with my view of shit. So I did mount it here, which is a good spot for it, but this dash is just so cluttered with buttons and shit. You know, I did mount the magnet there, but that's too far out of the way, and plus the sun comes in from the driver window and then glares off of my cell phone, so that was a bad choice. I'll probably get another magnet for down here, because I don't like this janky shit. This vibrates really bad, and I don't want my phone to die, you know. So there's that. So let's see what else. We've got this huge closet here, which I of course have made good use of stuffing all my backpacks and shit into. And then of course up here I keep my coffee pot and some Blu-rays. So there's that. And then a lot of my music shit I keep under the bunk. So, and then I keep water. The water used to always be a pain in the ass. I used to have a separate door for it, but now I keep it in the side boxes. The side boxes are easy to open, so, you know, whereas in the Kenworth you had to use your key to open them. So that helps. And yeah, I've really kind of changed my system up a bit, you know. The Ottoman was probably my favorite purchase to go along with this truck, because it's really comfortable when I'm sitting on there on the bunk at night. And I got this that I use from Walmart too, and I lean back on that, and that makes me nice and comfortable to, you know, game, because, you know, gaming is about, or make music. That's about all I got now, you know. As the freight slows down and I don't make as much money, I'm not too apt to spend a lot of money on Uber and whatnot to go places and do things. But I did manage to, during my 34-hour reset, I took the truck on personal conveyance time, and I went to Longhorn and had a nice dinner, and it was $50, but it was a nice dinner. So there's that. It's been, overall, I'm happy with the upgrades. Now, as for driving, a lot of the newer trucks are coming with more and more fucking bells and whistles to drive for you. And this one is no exception. It has an enhanced radar. It has LiDAR. That's what, in the front, like that thing up there, that's actually like a camera and LiDAR system. It actually reads speed limit signs and posts it on my dashboard when I'm driving, which is cool. It has the adaptive cruise, which is nice, but I think it's set a little too tight, so I always have to back off quite a bit, and because it gets you up to like within 2 seconds of following distance, and in my opinion, in a truck, that's too close. I'd like 3 or 4 seconds following distance at least. It's recommended to do 7 seconds of following distance, but sometimes that's just not realistic out here. It has this annoying lane assist feature. Now, if you drive a truck, you know that you tend to want to hug the curb lane, which means you're going to occasionally dip over that line a little bit. Not too far, mind you. But you want as much space on your left-hand side for when people are texting and driving and they fucking damn near run into you, or the truck driver passes and doesn't pay attention, or he looks in his mirror, and for some reason when truck drivers look in their mirror when they're passing you, they have this annoying habit of swinging their trailer into your lane before they're past you, or just as they're passing you. Because for some reason, turning their head is linked to their arm, and they apparently jerk the wheel back towards getting over. It happens a lot out here. So times like that, I'd like to get over. Well, when you do that, it fucking goes, and fucking alarm comes off. Now, there's a button you can press that disables it, but it only disables it for a couple minutes. And then a couple minutes later, you're going to, and you're like, fucking, So I'm tired of that. That's annoying. I'm wondering if I could just tape the button in. I'll try it, but who knows? Of course, it has the annoying going under like a sign, and it slams on the engine brakes if you're doing adaptive cruise. They haven't improved that with all the extra camera and fucking LiDAR shit, so that's not any better. This thing does not pull hills quite as good as the Kenworth, with a fully loaded box. It kind of, I had it down to 20 miles an hour on one mountain, which is way lower than what I'm used to. So it doesn't pull the hills as good. Oh well. Just means I make less per hour during the collapse and shit. Which is another thing I'm running into a lot more. They're bebopping me around the northeast now, which is why I'm over the road. One of the reasons I went over the road isn't just because I want to see the whole fucking country. It's because it affords me the opportunity to go out west where there's not as much congestion. Yeah, you run into the occasional city out there that's full of shit, but you get large swaths of open road. Whereas the Northeast, I hit 2 backups. They closed the fucking Pennsylvania Turnpike yesterday, and I had to go through some of the most fucked up mountain fucking back road Pennsylvania, shouldn't be there in a truck fucking roads that you had to go to. And then I hit another backup in a small town that had this light that only turned green for 2 seconds at a shot, and they had about 4 of those in a row. So that town was all backed up, a lot of it because of the overflow from people going around the highway. Yeah, but that was a 20-mile shutdown there, and it cost me an extra 3 hours. So there's that. On top of that, they wanted to send me to New York City with the load, and I had turned it down, saying I don't go to New York City, and I'm also couldn't get it there at the 6 a.m. like they wanted it to. So they gave me the load back, but they added a T-call at a terminal. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So they pulled the T-call off of me after they dispatched me, and I was like, nope. So I was nice. I sent a message. It was like, please put the T-call back on there. Thank you. And they did. And then another 2 hours later, somebody pulled the T-call off me again. And they're like, gotta go to New York City. So that pissed me off. I'm like, we're not doing this bait and switch shit. You're gonna learn to properly dispatch, and if you say you're gonna have me T-call or deliver it somewhere, then that's where it's going. So I got a little pissy. It's really easy to get pissy when you do have some savings and it's the beginning of summer. Just saying. So I called up the boss and I'm like, okay, one way or another, this is going to T-call at this terminal. And she was like, oh yeah, no problem. And they put the T-call on me again. This time it stuck. I T-called it. And I went to bed. And then they gave me today's bullshit. And so I get a call from the boss today, and they're like, they want to know why you didn't deliver the load. I'm like, well, first of all, I turned it down. I turned it down to begin with because I couldn't get it there on time, and B, I don't do New York City. I told her New York City's a deal breaker. 5 boroughs, no. I'll do Long Island. I'll pass through New York City, but I'm not delivering to the 5 boroughs in an over-the-road truck. Sorry, I've done it before. It is horrible. It's dangerous. And I'm not going to risk my career doing that when all I can do is go work somewhere else that doesn't go into New York City. So, there's very few places. New York City and Portland are the only 2 cities I don't deliver to. Portland is because they're fucking nuts and crazy and crime's out through the roof. Seattle's on that borderline, but thankfully I don't get a lot of loads out there. I've delivered to LA. So I haven't taken that off the list. It sucks. I'm not happy about it. But that being said, I was fine for the most part. Not a lot of super low bridges and shit in LA. It's pretty flat, sprawled out. Well, New York City is a low bridge waiting to hit your shit while going down a narrow street with double parked fucking cars on both sides that you might have to back up out of and shit. Like, I don't want to do with any of that. Not without significant increase in pay. Hourly pay for the time that I spend there. If they were paying me $35-40 an hour, okay, I'll do New York City in a fucking road truck. But at the mileage pay that they're paying me, sorry, you're gonna have to sweeten the pot. I don't need this job that much. So yeah, there was that whole drama that played out over the past few days, so I was pissed off about that. Is what it is. You win some and you lose some. But overall, the truck is an upgrade. It is also a smoother ride. Yeah, it doesn't have the power of the other truck, but it's not as bouncy. It doesn't fuck me up, whereas the Kenworth it's like it didn't even have a suspension. So there's that. But other than that, new truck. Nice. I'm the only one that's, I'm the only one that's beat off in here. There's never been another driver in here. That's nice. Well, somebody probably drove it off of the flatbed that they delivered it on for that first 55 miles, but they didn't sleep in it. So that's it. I just wanted to update y'all that I got the new truck and that freight is slowed down. Things are sucking. All the doom and gloom. Like, it is getting scary, the amount of FUD and doom and gloom that's come out of the mainstream media, that's come out all over YouTube. All the preppers are fired up. Everybody's just miserable with the stock market crash. And now we've got massive food shortages on the way. I mean, You know, I'm pretty fat, so I should be alright, but if shit starts getting Mad Maxy out here because of the food shortage, which will happen, what do you think people are going to do when they can't feed themselves? Do you think they're just going to be like, oh, darn, I can't eat? No. They're going to get some weapons. It's not hard to come by here. And they're going to hijack trucks of food until those are empty. So I don't want to be out here driving this truck when that time comes. So get your shit together or the supply chain's going to deteriorate into a death spiral. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only trucker that feels that way. I work for a big company, so chances of the company going bankrupt, like a lot of the small companies are about to do, because of high fuel prices and slow freight, that's going to take out a ton of the little guys out here. Freight spot rates have dropped dramatically, and I want to thank Dave and MSP. You turned me on to a new YouTuber that follows financial shit, and he actually has a insight into the transportation industry as well, which I was impressed with. So I've been watching a lot of his videos. But needless to say, but I can tell you from my own personal experience, freight has slowed down, and we're getting down to the basics, just like in 2008, which I was here for. And you know, it's all like groceries, beer, fucking paper products, cardboard, what else? You know, nothing good. No, not consumer goods or none of that shit. You know, which is probably why I'm getting a lot of the Northeast regional crap, is because I'm just hauling essentials. You know, till those run out. I don't, like I said, I don't picture the big company I work for going under, because they typically already have contracts in place for a lot of the freight they haul. So, and that's one of the reasons a lot of the little guys relied on those freight spot rates, which are different. They're outside the realms of contracts. Whereas the company I work for has some good contracts with places that'll be doing business no matter how bad it gets, as long as there's supply anyway. And they probably have set rates on, you know, fuel surcharge and stuff like that, or I don't know. But it's going to be a pinch probably, and the thing is even then, freight is still slowing down. People are tightening the belts. They're not buying shit. You know, so the prices of a lot of the disposable shit are going to come down, but nobody will be able to afford it because they're putting it all in their fucking gas tank and in their grocery bill. So, you know, that's my assessment. Things are still getting bad, and they're continuing to get bad, and they're going to get worse, I think. I mean, today there's another dip. I haven't looked. Maybe it's just a temporary one. Maybe it'll bounce today and go back up again. But we had a rally yesterday in the stock market. I was happy. I made money yesterday, but now I'm losing that money that I made yesterday, and for all I know, it's going to go down low. You know, I've changed my portfolio up to stuff that's a little more resilient to that. You know, that doesn't perform as bad as the S&P has been performing, or the NASDAQ for that matter. But you know, still, I'm having to actively manage my shit and day trade and swing trade quite regularly to try and make profit during this bear market. You know, now some would say you should just, you know, some of you have advised me to just pull out and hold cash and wait for this to pass. I don't want to miss the bus, all right? If it bottoms, I want to be in it when it rallies. You know, when I want to see like a week of rally, you know, where it goes up a couple percent a day, to know that we've bounced, and I want to be in it to get those profits back, so I don't lose all the money that I lost. A lot of what I lost was through crypto, and honestly, I don't picture Bitcoin rebounding. You know, after the big Luna hype, a lot of the retail people are buying up crypto, according to the people that I watch in the crypto space. But who's not buying crypto right now is Wall Street, because Wall Street is busy paying off all their margin calls before the interest rate hike. So, which is supposed to be announced today, maybe, I think. Which is probably why the stock market's tanking. I didn't watch the news yet, but I watched the stock market dip to the red, like almost all of them, except for a few of my picks are holding their own. So it's it's a shit show. I'm just trying to keep my head above water. If it gets really bad, I will leave the truck and go back to the Prius and what I was doing before, and fighting my way through the gig economy and content creation and stuff like that, and really, working on that semi-retirement life without the parachute that I'm trying to build. The whole point of being out here for 2 years is to build a big parachute so that I could stay out of the trucking for a couple of years, or at the very least go casual, which I might still try and do if things get really bad. If I find that I'm out here, on my 1 month stints and I'm not pulling the miles, then what is the purpose of me being out here? Why not go casual until freight picks up again, So that's an option too. I don't know. There's things to think about. It's just hard to be out here if I'm not making good money. The whole point of me being out here is to work my 70 hours a week and get lots of miles in, and I'm not even going to get my productivity bonus if they don't give me a good 2,000-ish miles over the next week. So we'll see. But mileages has fallen for me for sure. And part of it is, I don't know, for fucking gas hikes, there's still a whole lot of motherfuckers on the road. So you're not buying shit. You're buying your groceries. You're going to and from work. But where the hell else are you going? Why aren't you motherfuckers carpooling or something? With all the traffic backups, you would think that gas prices would slow people down, but no, they haven't changed their habits on the roads, as far as I can tell. I'm not noticing a distinct drop-off in traffic, at least in the Northeast. Out west, it's a little slower, I think. But in the Northeast, all the cities are shit shows. It's like they don't even care. They're just going to keep fucking driving. It'd be $10 a gallon, the roads will still be backed up. So, which is coming. Double digits. You heard it here first. Well, you heard it from one of the other channels that talks about it that I listen to, and then I'm like, you know what? That's probably going to happen. But I fully endorse that we're going to have double-digit fucking fuel prices, before the end of the year. And we're going to have some empty shelves because people are going to panic and buy up the inventory, and we're not going to replenish it as truckers as quickly. And the factories aren't going to ship it as quickly, and there's definitely a food shortage incoming, which is going to maybe not empty the shelves of all the calories, but all the really good calories will probably start to fall off. There's fertilizer shortage, so there's that, but we won't see the results of that till next year, I don't think. So, yeah, the world's gone to shit. I don't even know what I'm working on all this fucking semi-retirement for. I might as well just fucking semi-retire now and survive like I've done the past couple of years. Don't worry, I haven't given up yet. I'm just having those thoughts. Although this new truck, this brand spiffy new truck, it's going a long way to keeping me out here. Just saying, it upped my resilience a few points, because it is, as far as living the nomad life, it is pretty comfortable in here. It's way better than the Prius for sure as far as comfort goes. But at least the Prius, I could go places and do things. It's not as much in here and shit. But what the fuck do I know? Because I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. There's none of this shit I said is financial advice. I'm just telling you my thoughts on what's going on and how I'm dealing with it. You do you. I'm not going to bounce out of the market as much as some of you have said that's what I should be doing right now. I'm just going to buy, When I see companies I think that are going to make it through this, that have made it through 2008 in particular, that's, the question is finding the bottom, without getting my ass handed to me. So I've jumped in and out. I've shorted some stocks. Today I shorted a bunch of stocks. I saw it was all going down, so I sold all of it off, and I'll buy back in to those same stocks at a lower price, depending on how far they fall, when I see a little bit of a bounce, when I see the market turn. And it's pretty, one of the things I've noticed is Bitcoin is a leading indicator for what's going on in the market. That tends to happen faster in crypto. So I'm thinking there'll be another bounce and then another dip. But it is going to dip lower each time, I feel like. Although Bitcoin's been bottoming in the 28,000 range for a while now. It keeps bouncing off of that. So maybe that's the floor for Bitcoin. Which I did. I bought some Bitcoin at 28,000 something today. So hopefully that goes back up to 30,000, and then I'll sell out at 30,000 and make a nice little profit there. In theory. It could always go down. Wouldn't surprise me if it went down. But I would jump out of it and try and buy the new floor. That's day trading. Requires regularly checking the fucking prices. So I like swing trading more, though. I'm only day trading now because I'm trying to make up some losses. But once I feel like I'm back on track, or I give up, I'll stop day trading, leave it to swing trading, to basically short the stocks as they go down, and because they tend to, the swings don't happen very fast unless a company fucks up. I'm finding, if a company fucks up, then you lose, like Walmart, 25% in one day, I think it was. Only when something significant happens and causes a panic does that happen. But the gradual sell-offs and shit, I don't know. I've been able to jump out and avoid losses and then jump back in at a lower price. It's just a question of when I'm going to jump back in and it'll go up and stay up. That's what I want to happen. But if I don't time that right, then I won't be in for it. So, but I don't know shit. Some of you said I don't do enough technical analysis. I do technical analysis. I look at charts, and the charts haven't told me jack shit. The charts will say one thing, and then the next day it goes to it's too chaotic to rely on fundamentals. So I'm just using the Warren Buffett approach, and based on my personal experience with a lot of the companies. I'm only investing in companies that I've personally hauled their freight, or I use their products and believe in them, and I think that, and I also think back to 2008, and I'm just like, and 2020's crash, obviously, and I think what companies weathered those storms, and this is going to be like category 5, whereas that was category 4 as far as storms go. So I really got to be careful on what companies I think are going to hold their own. Even my own company, I've been shorting that lately, because the freight is about to all go on sale, all the freight companies, and they're not going anywhere, because you know why? People need shit moved. If there's shit to move, they'll always need shit moved. So I'm hoping by the end of this I own a healthy amount of transportation stocks, which are going to go down. They're about to go on sale. They're already started, some of them, like JB Hunt's been down for a little bit. So I'm thinking those are going to go down a lot more as the freight slows down, and then I can buy in. And then when there's a rebound, I'm like one of the only motherfuckers on here that's like, hey, we're going to go back up someday. Don't panic.
I don't feel that, I'm not confident in that. I can't tell you that that's the way it is. I'm just going off of the last fucking, even the Great Depression we came back from that. We came back from the 70s and the 80s recession. We came back from 2008. We came back very quickly from the 2020 fucking crash. So yeah, I'm just going off of history. If I had, if I was laying bets at the casino, which is pretty much what it feels like now, it's repeatedly bounced and come back. It might take a year or two, but I want to be in it. I want to, if I'm in it and it comes back, I could 10x my fucking savings, which way outpace inflation if I were to hold on to the money. So those of you telling me I should just hold cash, then I would miss the opportunity to really benefit from this recession. There's two types of people. There's people that lose their ass during a recession, and then there's the new millionaires that it makes. I want to be, I'm not going to be a millionaire because I'm not investing that much, but I want to be the one buying at the bottom. And it turns out I've started this journey, arguably we were still at the top, but I didn't put a whole lot into it. I only had a couple grand into it, when we were at the top. And I still have more money to earn and invest, and regularly dollar cost average invest while swing trading here and there, day trading when necessary, in crypto. But I've lost a lot of confidence in crypto. I will never hold crypto again, I don't think, after seeing what just happened. And just seeing the amount of horse shit, I'll trade it all day, and that way I don't lose my ass, because I don't trade with my entire portfolio, I trade with enough to make a decent profit when stuff swings upward, or to avoid losses when it goes down. That's trading. Trading, you don't give a shit what the price is. That's the thing. When you're trading, you're just watching the volatility. You want to be able to try and get in when it's low and out when it's high, and it's basically individual transactions. Every trade is whether or not you made profit or you took a loss. And you want to obviously make more profits than losses over time. That's my theory on it. And, it's a sound theory based on the years I played poker. It's kind of the same theory there. You're going to win and lose regularly, but occasionally, you want more wins than losses, and to be profitable. It's kind of a skill game, because you got to know where you're putting your money. You got to know the companies. You got to know what's going on with the companies. And yeah, there might be some things I miss, because I'm not here researching all day, every day. So that makes it a little harder for me to trade. But I know Bitcoin like the back of my hand at this point. I'm getting pretty good at the day trading the Bitcoin, though. I've been able to make small profits. It's going to take a while to recoup the 25% portfolio loss. I think I'm down to 23%, so I'm making progress. I'm chipping away at that shit. Maybe by the time the recession's over, I'll be even again. But it's hard work to get there. I would love to just keep dollar cost average buying and then come back a few years later and, oh, look at that, I made 20%. That'd be nice. But that's not how 20% is made. That'd be maybe how 7 or 8% will be made. But I lost that 20%. That 20% is going to come back. If I'm investing at the bottom of that 20% and I put more money in every week, theory happens when that rebound happens and I'm back at 0 or plus 8% further down the line, then I totally would make a much more percentage profit, because I'm buying when everything's on sale. I don't want to miss this opportunity just because everyone's scared. So I'm holding my breath, putting in, watching. Oh fuck, it's going down again. It's a gamble. I could lose, but it'd be a hell of a lesson to learn too. I'd only lose a year, maybe 2 of my time. It won't hit 0. I don't think we're going down to 0, people. Because if it goes down to 0, it's Mad Max times, and I'm already prepared for that. I'm ready for that. You know, I've got things in place if the shit hits the fan. So, yeah. Have a nice motherfucking day. Try. I know when you put fucking gas in your pump, you're gonna be like, fucking, this is bullshit. Fuck this shit. You know? But try and have a nice motherfucking day. I know I will if I ever get done at this customer. I can already feel it's gonna be another 5-hour fucking unload. Nobody works fast anymore. Where's our fucking ethics? We don't have any ethics for anything. Fuck it.